Here on The Colour of Country Life, great to be speaking with the Social Services Minister, Amanda Rishworth. How are you, Amanda?
I'm really well, thanks. How are you?
Great, thank you. And good for you to be back in South Australia, although it would have been important for you to make these community consultations across Australia into the cashless debit card.
Look, it has been really important to talk with people across regional Australia about the transition from the cashless debit card. So that's been really a good conversations I've had with communities.
And when it comes to the card, now, if I got Labor policy position it took to the election correct, you're moving to make it a voluntary card rather than mandatory in communities like Kununurra and Ceduna.
Yeah, look, what we're doing is we're moving to abolish the cashless debit card and the privatised nature of it, but also the compulsory nature of it. What we want to offer is voluntary income management for people if they choose to, or if communities, in fact, themselves look at how they might, through their community, take up options. But that is really what we're discussing at the moment.
Now, looking at Ceduna, what is the feedback you've got from that community? You were there about a week and a half ago, I think. Has there been positive, negative? What sort of feedback did you get there?
Look, there were a lot of people that have been very positive about getting rid of the card. They've been very concerned about it being compulsory and have raised some of the challenges that go along with it, about not having enough cash to go perhaps get into the football or buy things second hand. So there were those concerns raised. There were also a lot of concerns raised about making sure that there are good programs and funding in place for programs that have been implemented in the community. So I've been speaking with the community about which of those programs have really made a difference, separate really to the income management part of the card, but the other community-funded programs. So I've been talking with communities about which of those have been really important and how they've made a difference to people as well. So they've been really good discussions and also talking about how we transition people. Obviously, some people have been on the card for some time. How we make sure that they understand the options that are available to them, not just about income management, but also about centre pay. That's it, where your rent comes out first, and then you know what's left is what you buy your groceries with, things like that. So really talking about what that transition looks like and how we can support people in that transition.
And we spoke with the local MP Rowan Ramsey, member for Grey, recently about it. He suggested on the voluntary side of it there were aged pensioners, for instance, who'd chosen to go on the card so they wouldn't be, I guess, harassed for money so that others could use it for other purposes. Is that kind of the circumstances where you're thinking voluntary entry into such an arrangement might be beneficial for some people?
Absolutely. We want to make sure it's people's choice, and so I am aware of pensioners and other individuals that have said that they would opt in to a system, and so we want to make sure that they're supported to do that. And then there's other people who just feel very able to manage their own money and want to not be part of it. So I think the best way forward is making sure that people have choice in this and making sure that they're able to have options available to them.
And when you talk about the change from the current operator, I think I might have this wrong, is it Endu that were running it previously? There's been some criticism about maybe the selection process for them. Who will be running it now, and what were the concerns about how it was being run?
Well, look, I think the concerns particularly were the fact that that a private company holds people's money that they get from the government, and so their payments, their social security payments, are held by a private company. So what we want to see is make sure that we don't have steps towards a privatised welfare system. I think that really irks a lot of people, and a lot of people didn't know that actually. And so I've been really concerned by that. So we're working through the details, but ultimately what we don't want to have is a private company really responsible for administering people's social security payments. We want to make sure that people have control of that and that government services are supporting them in that.
Rowan Ramsey, he was a little bit sort of up and down about exactly how much he could link positive social benefits benefits to the cashless debit card, but he was concerned that some bad social problems might return. Is that why you're talking about these other programs you may bring in alongside of removing the card?
Well, I'd say a couple of things. There is just no evidence to suggest that the cashless debit card made a difference. In fact, the ANAO report did say that there weren't proper measurements, there weren't KPIs, but I can understand that people want to make sure that there's good programs in place. And I have to say, the programs that have been working, run by local community leaders, sound very, very impressive to me and sound like they've done a really good job in that. And I want to make sure that communities are properly supported with the right programs and making sure that people are getting the right support. So in terms of the evidence, unfortunately, there just isn't. The previous government didn't actually do the work to collect any evidence. So report after report has not really demonstrated it. But we want to make sure that the programs that communities are running, that they feel are really doing good work, that we're able to work through those and make sure that people are supported.
Now, lastly, Amanda Ishwer, Social Services Minister, I gather there's a timeline you're working towards. I thought it was towards the end of this year that the transition from a mandatory card would occur. What are we looking at in terms of a date?
That we're working towards the end of the year, December 31st. Obviously, some people will be transitioned before that, but that is the date that we're working to have everyone transitioned off the compulsory income management and have had a choice about where they want to go into the future.
Minister Ishwer, thanks so much for joining us today. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.